Hey there, I'm Brittany Schroeder, and business and marketing are my jam. I'm here to walk you step by step through this crazy thing we call business. I'm a small town girl, chocolate eating, Diet Coke drinking mom, marketing guru, automation Jedi, and all around good time. This is your weekly dose of all things business and life, sprinkled with some fun. This is the Redefine Business Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Redefine Business Podcast. I have been chatting with my guest today, and I was kind of joking that he has a different spelling of his name, and it's pronounced different. And so it's taken a lot of my brain power. I've had to practice 3 times before I hit record. So I am welcoming to the show Kwadwo, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because just saying his name has used enough of my brain power there. So Kwadwo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Brittany. And my name comes from Ghana, and I'm a Facebook ads strategist and the host of the Art of Online Business podcast. And you know what? I just have a heart and desire to help people, online course creators, service providers, coaches, run Facebook ads profitably because, I did it the wrong way. I actually got famous in China running Facebook ads the wrong way, which gave me tons of followers on social media and lots of people could recognize me in person, but that did not translate to actual money in my pockets from helping and serving people with the gifts and the passion for speaking foreign languages and teaching folks how to learn Mandarin Chinese. I wasn't able to serve people because how many of you know, including you, obviously, Brittany, it's followers on Instagram do not equate to customers. And so now, having come out of that previous business teaching Chinese, running ads the wrong way, but then learning how to run ads the right way, I help people do that.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point because I think that's how we learn is by failing and doing things the wrong way. And sometimes our failures cost us time, sometimes they cost us money. But that's really how we learn. So it's really important. And one of the things that we were talking about before we hit record is I was saying, I've had so many clients who either tried to do Facebook ads on their own, or they hired a company that didn't really know what they were doing and they didn't get a return on it. And so I often say, find somebody who really knows what they're doing. And sometimes you have to invest in that to get a return on it, but you pay what you get for. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, but finding that. So let's talk a little bit about just, Facebook ads. Before we started hitting record, I was talking about how growing your email list is really important. So when is a good time to invest in ads?
It's a good time to invest in ads only after you have an offer that's selling organically. I know you as an expert in funnels and scaling businesses say this all the time, but look at the offer. However you sell it organically, Instagram stories, launching to your email list, maybe bringing in affiliate people to promote your offer. But if it's selling well, and there's a good profit margin, that is a good sign that you could bring Facebook ads into the mix. But as I like to say, Jesus saves, Facebook ads do not. So more eyeballs on a bad offer does not a profitable business make.
Yeah. No, and I think that's true. And I think that even if we're talking about even just growing your email list, and this is something that I talk about a lot of times, is marketing is really just testing and seeing what works. And we have, so a lot of times people are trying to sell a product or grow their email list, whatever it may be. And they create something and they just stick it on their website and they're not really testing it. And you have to see what works. If you have a really good offer, but you're not getting traffic, you got to focus on the traffic. If you have a really good landing page, but you're not converting, maybe your offer's off. So there's all these different elements in a funnel and you have to test them all. And you have to drive traffic. You have to have good copy. You have to have a good offer. There's all these things. And it's really trial and error, like test, fail, change, tweak, and you're figuring this out. So, so you say like they have to sell, like they have to make sure that it sells before you do offers, before you do invest in Facebook ads. What we kind of talked a little bit about this before, but how much should people expect after they've tested it and it's selling? How much is an expected amount that people should expect to invest in Facebook ads to see a return on that?
So I'm going to lead with a disclaimer that says this number is different across different niches and even across businesses in the same niche.
Mm-hmm.
But like in general, as an ad manager, if somebody's talking to me about considering Facebook ads, and I'm not here to like 100% preach Facebook ads, like I'll tell you straight up, if ads doesn't make sense for your business, but you have another way that you're making in sales, lean in on that. But in general, as a minimum, you probably want to be spending $900 to $1,000 a month on ads before, like, or have that available budget before it makes sense to run ads. And like without crunching numbers right here, the concept is you want to know how many leads you need to bring in order to generate a certain amount of revenue. Let's say a very simple launch, right? Like you'll want to know if you're generating $50,000, $100,000 in a launch, right? Then how many leads does it take to do that? So that you can say very concretely, each lead I get into my business for this conversion event, launch, challenge, bootcamp, what have you, is worth a certain amount of dollars. Let's say each lead is worth $50. Amazing. That gives you confidence to know that you can start acquiring leads with paid traffic for, $5. And there should be some profit in there.
I've noticed when I've run different ads before, different things work at different times. So if you are trying to sell a product online, and maybe I'm wrong, but like this is my own experience. When I'm trying to sell a product, I have to invest a lot more as opposed to if I'm giving something for free. So like I might have like some ads that I'm running right now is 50 free viral posts. They're Canva customizable, like viral posts for Facebook. People have Facebook groups. It converts really, really well. But then I've run ads I'm trying to sell products and the conversion's not, I might be paying like $1 per lead with my free templates.
Okay.
But when I'm trying to sell something, I'm paying a lot more. Is that typical? Or again, I know it's not the same, different niches, different, but what's kind of a rule of thumb with that?
Well, sure. I think what you're getting at is when the ask is bigger with ads, then you have to pay more to find the people that are willing to take that step. Like, of course, like dollar leads for your Canva templates.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense because the ask is, pretty tiny. Just give a name and an email, right? And then you've got to rely on the email on your funnel to convert either with like a tripwire offer on the thank you page or convert over like an email sequence into a larger offer or just nurture into the next launch. But yeah, when you run ads directly to an offer, let's say $27, it's like we're going from 0 to 60. It's like you're asking somebody on the first date to marry you, so to speak. Like they may not have heard of you before, and they see an ad, interest is sparked or peaked, and then they go through and right away spend $27. Definitely possible, but you're probably going to pay more for that kind of lead, i.e. like purchaser.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you usually talk about when it comes to running like ads to low ticket offers?
My strategy is my goal is to get people in my funnels, like my email funnels. And I just know that it takes a little bit longer. We're really inundated with so much content and information on the internet that it's a little bit harder to get a sell off of a cold audience. And so for me, I want them in my funnels. I want to nurture them. I want to give them value. I want to build that know, like, and trust factor. Yeah. And there's not very much friction in, hey, here's a freebie. But even my free templates like convert really well. Well, I'll run ads to a webinar and I'm going to launch maybe a course or something, but I want to get them in my webinar. I want to do a training before. Even that does not convert. I have to spend more on, I will spend anywhere from $4 to $6 for those leads because the investment is not money. The investment is time, their time.
Yes.
Like they're going to come and attend a free training. So I think that you have to kind of know, like, what's your goal here? My goal is, do I want them in my funnel? So I have two different objectives with two different Facebook ads. My one is I just want them in my funnel. I want to nurture them. My other one is I want them to come to a training because I want to sell at the end of the training.
Yeah.
So I'm realistic, saying I'm going to have to spend more on these leads because it's an investment of their time. So
Right.
that's kind of what I have seen in my own business.
Yeah, there's some things that influence that. Like here in 2024, like I'm not the first one to say this. I hear it a lot though. We're in something called a trust recession, just with having made it through 2020 and the pandemic and all the folks selling courses.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are just a little more cautious, a little more reserved with extending their trust. And so like a big shift I'm seeing this year with my clients is that what used to work, as in running Facebook and Instagram ads to a cold audience and having them come to your webinar and profitably converting all those folks or a good percentage of them, just isn't working as well. And so like what we've been doing with quite a few clients is shifting their budget back to the tried and true method of exactly what you said. Spending ads on a lead magnet well before a launch, almost as soon as one launch finishes, lead magnet ads start up, and then relying on the tried and true funnel to convert those, or I guess to increase the know, like, and trust factor. But I love that you're talking about a launch, because if somebody's thinking about running ads in the beginning, they almost have to ask that question to themselves. Okay, I've launched a few times, it's profitable, but conservatively, how much can I afford to lose if I run ads? Is that $500 to this launch just to test out new traffic to the launch, And then to your point, when you're having a webinar and expecting to sell off of the back end, again, like looking back historically, how much money have you made from each webinar off of how many leads? And is there that profit margin in there to say, okay, let's go ahead and try to bring in some leads with Facebook ads and see how they convert, do a good solid launch debrief, and then make adjustments to the messaging, if you will, or to the landing page, and then try it again the next launch.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, just touching on when you have a warm audience and you've pitched something to them. So, my email list, I'm pitching to my email list, and maybe I'm selling like a product. After a while, it's like they've already heard it. A majority of my list has already heard it. So a lot of times your strategy needs to be, you need more people in your audience. And that's where Facebook ads comes in, is because you have to get a cold audience to become your warm audience. And then you can pitch again. If you're pitching the same things over and over, your audience is like, okay, yeah, I'm not interested in this. You've already pitched this to me. I'm not interested. So it really is like a growth strategy is, can you sell using Facebook ads? Yes, but just kind of like what you said, which is so interesting, because I've been hearing that buzz too, that it's a lot harder to sell digital courses now because there were so many. What I'm hearing is doing well now is like templates are doing well, like, and it could be because there's like, it's low resistance, like it's not a huge investment. Yeah. Instead of these bigger ticket, we're doing some of these like smaller ticket, like, tripwires, like, there's not a lot of friction, $7, $10, whatever, but it can add up if you have a big enough following and a big enough network. So it really is really like testing. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about Facebook ads, because I see this. I'll help people with funnels, and I can help you build a funnel. Like I can help you automate. I can help you build a funnel. But sometimes I call it a leak in the funnel. Sometimes there's a leak in the funnel where it's either they just don't have a good enough offer, or it's not. Maybe it's not niche down enough. And I think that is applicable to Facebook ads. Like, you really have to test, and just because you're going to run Facebook ads, that doesn't mean you can make them money. It means you know how to run Facebook ads. And I think a lot of times this is something as entrepreneurs that we need to be aware of. A lot of people refer back. I did a reel once that said, if somebody is promising you that they can help you make a ton of money, or they're like a business coach and they're promising you all the success, they're probably not a good coach. They're probably a good scammer, because there's no easy button And it really is testing and trying. People can help you and they can give you the tools, but there's not going to ever be like, yes, I can help you make a ton of money. I can help you make 30,000. I'll give you the tools, but you have to do the work. You have to figure it out. You have to test, you have to fail, and all those things. So do you see that a lot with people like, okay, I'm coming for Facebook ads. You better make me a ton of money. So.
Well, of course. I mean, because it's like the dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turn on paid ads and then automatically the leads just start coming in and you start making money. I think you said it perfectly. You have to test a lot. Thomas Edison had this quote that people miss out on opportunity because it comes dressed in overalls and it looks like work. And running ads is work. And some people get shocked when I say this, but most Facebook ads don't work. And it's like, oh, what do you mean? It's like, well, you test 20 ads to get to that 1 in 20 ad that outperforms the other 19. Mm-hmm. You test 49 to get to that really good ad or 50 to get to that really good ad that outperforms the other 49. And so to answer your question directly, yeah, some people do come to me like saying, can you just fix my business, magically turn on Facebook ads? And it's like, well, we need to have a realistic conversation, which is that how's your offers doing? How long has your messaging been tested? Like, right? Because running ads to cold traffic that doesn't know you is a whole lot different than the warm traffic that will purchase more easily. But I want to encourage the listener too, like if you're willing to test, like I do, Facebook ads, different messaging, different ad copy, even looking through your social media for Instagram Reels that are related to the offer that you're about to start trying to run ads to, and looking for what performs well organically, and then trying that as long as it's aligned with your offer, and then trying that like in your ad. As long as you're willing to do that work, there is a reward to be had, because I'm running ads that are profitable for clients directly to like a low ticket offer at $27. And on the highest end, I have one client who has an offer at $67. And we're running ads to that profitably, but it does take some testing.
Yeah, and you have to be realistic. So, well, this has been like really good information. You said that you had something for my listeners that can kind of help them to kind of get an idea about Facebook ads. So, tell my listeners what you have that will help them.
Meta Ad Manager, Facebook and Instagram Ad Manager. When you go inside of that piece of software, it is just such a minefield of mistakes waiting to be happened. It's like you have to pay ignorance tax and run ads, make mistakes, or get a good course, run ads, make mistakes, do one-on-one coaching, run ads, make mistakes. But I mean, you've done it, right? I know I've paid thousands of dollars in ignorant tax. So all I have is something called the 7 biggest mistakes that online course creators make when they run Facebook ads that burn through their ad spend and hard-earned money. And what that is a screen share, a series of screen shares where I go into Meta Ad Manager so somebody can set up their Facebook and Instagram ads, and I point out the mistakes that I continually see, because I coach one-on-one Facebook ads. So like I point out the mistakes that I continually see, and because I don't believe in fluff lead magnets, I actually go through and show you how to fix that mistake and give you some options. And so that is, I'm sure you'll link it up in the description below, but that is my free guide, so to speak. And then anyone can come over to the podcast, The Art of Online Business. I'm going to be interviewing you on that podcast too.
Well, that is awesome. Tell my listeners the best ways to get a hold of you and how to find you. We'll put that all in the show notes, but let them know where you hang out. Where do you hang out? Where's the best place to find you?
I hang out on Instagram and I am active in the DMs. So the best way to get a hold of my Instagram is through the lead magnet, because on the second email, I share my Instagram account, and then you can click there and DM me, say hi, and even ask me questions about this tutorial that I'm giving away for free.
Yeah, he's great because we've had conversations through the DMs too. That's how we kind of connected. So that's awesome. Well, Kwadwo, I always like to end my podcast with asking my guests 2 questions. The first one is, what is a pet peeve and what is a simple pleasure? So what is a pet peeve?
pet peeve. I really don't like it when you're just like random pet peeve, right?
Anything. Yeah. It doesn't have to be business related. It can be anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my biggest pet peeve is when you ask somebody to hang out and they're like, oh, sure. Yeah, we'll hang out. And then you go to actually message them on WhatsApp and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm busy. Oh, yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, we'll hang out Saturday. But no, something came up. Like I hate that pet peeve because I love hanging out with people. I believe every person you meet is a new filter into the world because they grew up different than you. It's so cool.
Yeah. 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 That's one of mine too, is just people that you can't like count on. I struggle with that one too. So, okay. Simple pleasure. What is something simple that brings you joy and pleasure?
I think you and I connected on this already when you talked about your son being overseas right now in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
For me, 100% speaking a foreign language and communicating to somebody in their language and thus picking up, from a new culture that wasn't mine to begin with. I love that. And for me, it's a simple pleasure. It's one of I would call it one of my God-given passions. I just love foreign language.
How many languages do you speak?
So English is up here,
yeah,
most fluent because I was born with that one.
Yeah.
And then Mandarin Chinese comes second.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then way below that, because I live in Mexico, but I got stuck here during the pandemic, is Spanish.
Okay. I practice Spanish every day on the Duolingo app, and I have like a 445-day streak. Are you impressed with my dedication? I'm dedicated.
I am super, straight up, I've never made it past 20-ish days.
Yeah, I'm dedicated.
Duolingo.
I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated.
That's impressive.
I'm proud of myself. I really am. So that's awesome.
The owl loves you. The owl loves you.
Yes. Well, awesome. Well, this was so fun. Everybody go check out Kwadwo, give him a follow, grab that lead magnet in the show notes and learn from him because he has tons of knowledge. So thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate the honor. Thank you. Thank you, Brittany.
Let's not stop the party here. Head on over to my Instagram or Facebook group, Redefine Your Business, and let me know your thoughts about today's show. I will see you again, same time, same place, next week.